Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in Christ. We meet in another car vlog. The road is very bumpy because many potholes. This is one of the major shopping area, but the roads are so bad. I want to speak to my fellow Malaysians, especially today. Especially the church. The church is supposed to be the salt of the earth, the light of the world. But if the church is not functioning as the Lord has designed it to function, then it becomes worthless. The parable of the salt losing its saltiness. Salt that has lost its saltiness is no longer useful. Just as the church, if it doesn't become the light of the world or salt of the earth, it becomes worthless. Religious ceremonies, Sunday services, even so-called praise and worship don't make an impact whatsoever if it's not done according to the will of the Lord. And it's truly sad that I feel that the country is not heading in the right direction, and partly because the church has ceased its function to be light and to be salt. Incredibly sad, but that is the truth of the matter, or the reality on the ground. And I would foresee things to become worse unless the Lord really intervenes on our behalf. Look at the political situation in our country in the last 2.5 years. There's no end to politicking. There have been 4 state elections, starting from the state election in Sabah 1.5 years ago, that led to the change of government, and then in Malacca, and then in Sarawak, and now just yesterday in the state of Johor. And the trend is very clear that the former ruling coalition, Barisan Nasional, is coming back to power. You don't have to be an astute political analyst to predict that Barisan Nasional very likely would form the government at the federal level in the next general election. In fact, the current government, also led by Barisan Nasional, but they have several coalition partners. They are not in total control. That meant if the next general election is held within 6 months, they had a memorandum of understanding with the opposition not to hold the general election until July or middle of the year. So once that agreement is through, I very much predict before end of the year, perhaps as early as September this year, which means there will be a dissolution of the parliament by the end of July or early August, and within 60 days the next federal general election will be held by the end of September or early October of this year. And I would imagine, if you see the trend in the 4 state elections, especially the last 3 state elections in Malacca, in Sarawak, and now in Johor, Barisan Nasional, led by UMNO, has retaken all the state's government. Obviously in Sarawak there is a indigenous party, but they are strong supporter of BN, or Barisan Nasional. So I would imagine that with 222 seats in the federal parliament, the opposition may find it tough to win 50 or 55 seats in all, and that would give Barisan Nasional a 2/3 majority in the next parliament. 2/3 majority, they can amend the constitution, and I would say it would be a rocky road ahead for the church.